Welcome to 3 Minute Fridays, the YouTube short series where I answer your burning questions about moving to and living in South Italy. Now, today's question is it really cheaper to live in South Italy? Now, my answer is threefold. It used to be, it still can be, but things are changing. Let me explain. It used to be. Back when I arrived in 2018, I was blown away by the cost of things. Put it this way, I was taking photographs in the supermarket of how cheap the bottles of wine were here, how cheap the pasta was, how cheap the coffee was. Because coming from London, I really noticed a difference in the cost of things. Even when it came to public transport, train tickets, things like this. 6 years later, now things are changing and the cost of everything has increased in price, and it's very noticeable now, particularly here in the south, because people's salaries and wages are generally lower compared to other parts of Italy. It's more noticeable now, the changes. Consider big boxes of coffee that before were under 10 euros are now like 17 euros in the supermarket. And that is a big price increase. And, people here are starting to feel it. Coffee has gone up from what used to be 70 or 80 cents for a cup when I arrived to now like €1, €1.10 or 20 in some bars. So, there is a difference that has been felt over the course of 6 years. But it can still be cheaper to live here depending on where you come from. If you come from America, if you come from the UK, if you come from a country where the cost of living is extortionate, you are going to think it is dirt cheap here, for sure. Like the rent. The apartment that I live in here in Palermo, I could never find an apartment of equivalent size at all for this money in London. It would be impossible. I would be lucky to have a teeny tiny studio at best. And this is it. I think it really depends on what you're used to paying for things, the country you come from. But I will say that if you're going to do a comparison within Italy itself, and you were to compare, say, I don't know, Salerno or Palermo to Milan, yes, there is a difference. But even within the south, you can have more expensive places. Like Salerno is actually considered to be one of the more expensive cities to live in South Italy. So, there are kind of little caveats and nuances that you have to figure out. But generally speaking, the cost of living is lower here. But please bear in mind, everything is relative. So too are people's salaries here. And so sometimes people don't really get to offset the difference and really benefit from this because they literally just have enough money to survive. So yes, I would say that this is a very personal answer for you. For me personally, I recognize that there is a difference here and I'm really grateful. Check out this video to see how much it costs to live in Palermo.